It's Daybreak Interactive, where we get your perspective, your contribution, and your comments on important national issues, whether it's a policy debate or it's a reaction to government reform. They are all taken here with absolute respect for the public in the way we deliver our suggestions, so that we are not offensive to other people. And this morning we would be discussing something not very hardcore, if you like. We are not discussing the economy, as we have had ample time in the past to do so, and we will continue to do so into the future. We are not discussing, well, it's a policy issue, but this time we are discussing education, and we are looking at the reintroduction of history. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed the reintroduction of history as a standalone subject in Nigeria's basic schools, a move first ordered in 2018 after its removal in 2007. The subject, once merged with social studies, will now focus on promoting national integration, nation building with a revised curriculum developed by the Nigeria, developed, for pupils in Nigeria. And you all, I'm sure, have followed the argument over the years about the importance of history in our school. Some would argue that a sound knowledge of the past is the basis for nationalism and patriotism. It's the driving force in modern nation building. History creates and reinforces national identity, self-determination, and all. The United States and United Kingdom and Japan are striking examples of the teaching of history as a central plank of its curriculum. Knowledge of history has driven patriotism exhibited by citizens of these countries, and history can give people a proper appreciation of the place of their nation, among others. And this reinforces all of the conversations around why history is important as a topic, or rather a standalone in our country. So this morning, the phone lines will be open, the lines are displayed, for you to let us get a sense of what you think about this move to reintroduce history in our school. I understand we have our first caller. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from. Oh, all right. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Shatima, if I guess correctly.
Shatima Kudima, calling from Maiduguri.
It's a pleasure always to have you join us on this show, Mr. Shatima.
Thank you, Mr. John. You see, sincerely speaking, this is a welcome development. It's a very good step. People should not underrate the subject of history. History have a lot of contribution towards nation development. And because if you look at what is the meaning of history, history says it's a story of man and nature, and spans over time. So you see, by the time you read history, you prepare for a better tomorrow. Because through history you will understand the mistake of the past for you to build a better tomorrow. And by the time you read history, you know the contribution of the past heroes, and you will try to emulate to build for a better ahead. If you look at the USA and the United Kingdom, they make history to be composite. Why? Because you will understand the contribution of their past heroes and their past leaders for you to contribute your own quota. That's what makes them now. If you meet an American, what he was thinking is American first than himself. You see, if you read history of our past heroes in this country, people like Tafawa Balewa, people like Sadona of Sokoto, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, and Chief Obafemi Awolowo, you will see that there are people that catch their need towards the building of this nation. So by the time this subject was introduced in the schools, we are doing very good things to catch our children at the tender age, to inject the need for building nation. You see, I think what we are having problem now is that our children, they don't know the contribution of our past leaders. You can imagine, Mr. John. I was having a conversation with somebody. He's a diploma holder. When I told him about Chief Obafemi Awolowo, believe me sincerely, he said he doesn't know them. He don't know Sardauna. He don't know. So how can we go this way? Now, as I told you, in the America, whatever course you will read, you must go for certificate in history. This is a reality. True. Whatever course you will read, you must go for certificate in history. That's the first thing that you will read. To know the contribution of the past leaders, how the past leaders contributed towards the development of that nation. So it's a very good development. It's a very good development. I think we have taken a way towards a nation building. That's my take. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Malan Shatima, this morning for that wonderful contribution. I hear you on many fronts on why this is important. I hear the conversation you shared with us about a diploma holder who has no sense of history. I mean, if you are taking history out, in 2007, this would be about 18 years since that happened. We have lost a generation, if you like, that have not been properly schooled about the story of their history, where they are, and therefore they are bound to repeat the mistakes of the past. We have another caller. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning. I'm afraid we may not be able to go on with that caller. Please stay away from your TV sets once you want to put out these calls. As best as possible, turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can have a clean and clear conversations. And just stay, squared to your phone and not trying to listen to what you are saying or what response we are offering from the television. That would help us, of course, have a clean conversation. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
God bless you. I'm calling from Taraba State, sir.
All right, sir. Can we have your name, please?
I'm Barnabas.
Mr.
Calling from Taraba State.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barnabas. What part of Taraba are you in? Jalingo, Wikari, or where?
I am calling from Wikari, sir.
All right. Please go ahead and share your perspective.
Yeah. Yes, my stake on the introduction of history, or the introduction of history subject into the Nigeria curriculum, it's a welcome idea. It's a welcome idea in the sense, as a teacher, I speak from my profession. As a teacher, the basis of a student to have a knowledge of an history from the background. I feel it otherwise. You've discovered that of recent. I went for a competition. A student was asked, who is the first prime minister of Nigeria? A secondary student, SS3, don't know. It's a challenge because a father don't know, a child don't know his father. Entirely, Nigeria need to revamp their system of education. I'm speaking this from my profession because I'm a teacher. So we need to put our educational structure in place. History is supposed to be the paramount subject. English and mathematics in course, they are important. But history is supposed to be a basis that the child should learn from a primary section. That is what the foundation of a child. The child should begin to know the history of a nation, where he or she is coming from, before you start knowing the history of the other Western world. To my stand, to my stand. Know that you will start up today. Somebody can tell you the American president the president of the what, this and that, but don't know the president of their local nation, don't know the governor, don't know the prime minister, the first prime minister, the first head of state. That history is supposed to be there for a child from the basis. And I'm very much impressed. If this can be considered, if the system of education can be revamped, the curriculum, the scheme of work, and the if that can be put in place, sir, I think Nigeria will have a way forward. That is my stake on it, and I'm very much impressed. And this is the way forward, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and I'm happy that we are getting a teacher join us who understands, the place of history in the development, in the overall development of a complete Nigerian child, and is giving examples. We were here a couple of weeks ago, and we had a diplomat here, take us through what Nigeria had done. For instance, say a country like South Africa, that it doesn't deserve some of the kind of treatments our citizens go through. And it took us through history lessons of the steps we took, the friendship that we had to lose, the money that we spent to support the independence of South Africa, and why every time we are mistreated, it touches us, deeply. And these are the kind of history that future generations should know about, and it should inform policy drawing and implementation. We have another caller. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
If you can hear me, you would have to speak up, and please put off the volume of your TV set and let us have a clean and clear conversation. Are you there? I'm sorry, we have to let you go. Please do try again. We would like to hear what you have to say. It's important that we properly contextualize this development that is coming back, and we even understand what values are there, for teaching histories in our schools. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Thank you. Can you kindly speak up and tell us your name and where you're calling from?
This is Abasekong calling from Gombe State.
Mr. Ekong, it's a pleasure to speak with
Abasekong.
You always. Abasekong, yes. Please, go ahead.
Sincerely speaking, I want to appreciate Mr. Shetima. He has spoken my heart, spoken my mind, because I tried reaching, the network was not friendly. When we talk about history, what is history? You have exhibited what history is all about. There's a caller that called, and you asked him whether he's from Ukariko, Jalingo, and the man said, I think he said he was from Jalingo.
From Ukari.
That is history. That is what history is, reflecting history. Now, what is history itself? History is a record of past events, present, and continuous. So this is a subject matter that we need to reintroduce in our school. I heard all what the teacher said when he was analyzing the issue of a pupil in the JSS, SS3 or JSS3. We need to reintroduce this, not only in the schools, not only in the primary school, even in the universities, in our tertiary institutions. Go to Israel now. They will give you the history of how they left their country, or which I read through the Bible. And look at the Muslims, what they read through the Quran, and we the Christians, what we've been able to embark in in our religion, that is the Bible. So these are histories. We need to reintroduce this history. Like now, most of us, we don't know our local government. There are parents, they were born in Gombe, they don't know anything about their locality. They don't know their village. They don't know whether there is water in their village, there is river, whether they are bounded with Atlantic Ocean. So this is a very welcome idea. That's why this Trust TV, in fact, if I am in position to give you people an award, you will sweep all the award.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you this morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abasiakon, for those delightful compliments of the things we do. We are here because you are there. We hope that we will continue to find the inspirations to do the things that resonate with all of you. Very, very interesting contributions there from Mr. Abasekong on the importance of history, and we'll continue to take more contribution. I understand we have another person on the line. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you. May we have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Mohammed. I'm calling from Zaria.
Mr. Mohammed from Zaria. How is Zaria this morning? I understand the cold.
Zaria, alhamdulillah, everything is okay.
Okay, I understand the cold is really very high now and it's hazy.
Yeah, it's not. It's reducing anyway.
Okay, that's great to hear. Please go ahead and share with us what you think about this.
Thank you very much. In fact, I had this over the news, the introduction of history in our schools. I can say it's a step forward. But all this, to me, this is my own view.
That's right.
We have not addressed the main issue. And I have never had anybody in this country, sorry, for me, that trying to address the main issue.
Okay.
Somebody has said something about US. Get a kid maybe of 10 or 6 or 7. If he or she is from US, she will, whatever you say, she will only talk about US, but not from where he or she comes from. US is number 1. In Nigeria, what is happening today? This is based on experience. I travel all over this country, all over. Well, I mean all over. There is a sentimental thing we have in Nigeria. My own property is mine. Your own property as a presenter is ours. What do I mean by that? There is part of this country you cannot get even admission in tertiary institutions. Part of Nigeria. And we say we are one country. You cannot get admission, no matter how qualified you are, you cannot get admission. But there is part of this country also, everybody get an admission. Everybody will get admission on the other part. And the other part, if you are on the other side, you cannot get admission. So introducing of history, or if you don't address this issue first, for me, I don't think this is going to address the main. All these issues we are having today in this country, this is the foundation. My own is mine, your own is ours. It's never done. All these developed countries, if you go, or you want to read their history, people, you should be proud of everything as yours. Not your own is ours, my own is mine. It will not work. This is a very big sentimental issue we have. So we are just trying to plait our hair, and we left heap of lies under. I will see, I'm carrying an elephant on my head. I'm looking on a small lies on your head, instead for me to address. And lastly, we can address these issues. If we want to address, we can address. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed from Zaria. And I hear you clearly about the issues of discriminations that still abound in our society. And if you ask me, it doesn't take away from the conversation. It makes it even more expedient. Why a good sense of history would make you appreciate your brothers from every part of this country, would make you appreciate our diversity, would make you understand why our diversity is a strength and not a weakness. If you have the opportunity to interact with families that are intermarried across different race or cultures and religion, the level of tolerance you find in those environments is different from the ones who don't understand what abounds. You have children that can lay claim to several places and feel completely a part of those places. You know, it makes that person a completely well-rounded person. We have another caller. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Benue State.
Can I have your name, please?
My name is Ishaku Dauda.
Ishaku Dauda from Benue. Where part of Benue exactly? Makodi or Tukpo?
Entaka local government.
Entaka local government. Very good. We're getting somebody outside the usual venues. Go ahead.
No, I'm happy with my brother from Borno State, Shetima.
That's right.
In fact, he has spoken my mind. All that he said are correct. But I just want to add something to that which he has said. See, it is only in Nigeria that if you went to look for a job or you're coming from any part of the country. Now, maybe you may think I'm from Benue State. I'm not from Benue State. I'm here for a work. I come from a different state. But in Nigeria, it is only in our country that they will ask you your religion. When it comes to work, they will say, write your religion. When it comes to admission, they will say, write your religion. Now, just like my brother from Borno State, Shetima said, there is no place you are going to look for a work. You are a Nigerian. Your nationality should be first. And your state. Now, if you know my state, where I come from, my local government, where I come from, I hope that one should be okay. My religion should not matter. Whether I am a Hausa man, whether I'm a Yoruba, Ishekiri, Igbo, whatsoever language I am a Nigerian, and that should be our paramount important things. But when we start putting sentiment, just like the last caller said, sentiment in our issue, it will affect us, and the history will not work. Because there are people who sacrifice their life for the sake of this country. For Nigeria to be today, to where he is today, some people sacrifice their life. So we should emulate those people. They didn't work for Nigeria based on religion. They didn't work for Nigeria based on where they come from. They work for Nigeria and for Nigeria alone. Thank you. That's my take.
Thank you very much, Ishak, for those contributions. Slightly away from the topic, but richly enhances our contributions this morning. Our conversations this morning. If we have a good sense of history, we would know the importance of look at all the advanced communities you can talk about in the world. There were communities that were welcoming of strangers. There were communities that were non-discriminately. It's not written anywhere that the person who will come up with the best inventions that could change your society has to be a son of the soil. Elon Musk is a typical example, one of the richest in the world, but he's not an American by birth. If that system had not accepted him and given him the ground to flourish and to build his enterprise, probably if it was destined that he would do it, he would have been doing it somewhere else. Some of the biggest cities in Nigeria were cities that were welcoming of strangers. Kano, Port Harcourt, Abuja, Lagos. What has it taken away from the community, really? So, I hear some of the things you say, but it's also a failure of history, of people trying to understand that we can be better together rather than looking for reasons and an opportunity to discriminate. But more importantly, to understand the role that your ancestors played, the kind of sacrifices that were made. Some of us are living off the blood of other people who put their life in line to ensure that things were done correctly. We are just beneficiaries. We don't understand these things, so we don't also appreciate what we are holding in our hands. We have another caller. Good morning, your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I think you are speaking to the last caller.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I can hear you. Please go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Jibrin A. Mohammed. I'm calling from Gombe State.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jibrin. Please go ahead.
Yes, all has been said about what history is all about. But I have little to contribute. If you look at even our education system as a whole, you see, it's all about that history that we are talking about. It is not the history itself that we are talking about, but including the sciences that we are studying in Nigeria is all history. Because there's nothing that we are now coming up with as a new invention in even the sciences that we are talking about. We are only studying what people have all propounded for long ago in even the sciences. So history is very important, it's very paramount, because if you don't even know where you are coming from, you won't know where you are going. So on this, I'm of the opinion that seriously, the reintroduction of history in the Nigerian curriculum is a very good thing to go about, to go by, I mean.
Thank you very much.
It's a welcome view, which I want to believe that, yes, if it is introduced, all these examples that were cited that our children were not able to understand, their prime ministers, their past leaders, and whatnot, they will get to know all these things. In addition to the sciences that we are now hammering on, that is not even, there is no introduction of new things from it. So when we talk of history, we talk of science, we need new innovations in it. And the sciences we are talking about, like I earlier said, there's nothing now that is introduced into the sciences that we are studying. Okay, let's look at the case of China now. I think if we look at the history of China, we are almost moving at the same pace with China. Today, China is in the space. Where is Nigeria? Our name is not still written on the wall in terms of sciences. So I think we have a lot to do, even in the sciences that we are thinking that it is the best way to go. We have a lot to do there. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for your contributions there, Mr. Osman from Gombe. And I like something as you introduced, which is the fact that we now need to teach this history in a more innovative way. You talked about the introduction of technology in the teaching of history, not history as we were taught, of large volume of text that were, not that the stories were not interesting, but taught in a manner that was cumbersome and tiring. There are very innovative ways of teaching history, including excursion visits to historic sites, and getting those tour guides tell you in very clear terms, the significance of these tour sites and all of that. And that could be innovative way of doing it. Your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. May we have your name and where you're calling from?
I am Mohammed Bello from the local government area in Bauchi State.
From Miso. How is Miso this morning?
So it's fine. Only the cold weather that is disturbing us.
Yeah, Bauchi, Plateau, and Zaria and Kano are some of the coldest places this period.
Yes, exactly.
I hope you still have those your dates. I used to buy dates from Miso those days traveling through Bauchi.
Okay, which of the breads?
Dates.
Alcas or ABC bread or?
No, not bread. Dates. Dabino.
Okay. Date. Okay, I understand. Okay,
yes.
That's very good for you in my own town. Yes, next time when you come in, you try and look for me. I will host you very well.
Hopefully. Bauchi is like a second home for me. I spent about 3 years
there. Okay. So I want to share my own take on this topic of bringing back history into our curriculum and our secondary school students. It is a very good subject indeed. So as it is just a kind of continuation from the social studies pupils had from the primary school, where they can increase their knowledge in knowing themselves and their brothers. So as the saying goes that history is the best teacher. It is invaluable teacher indeed, offering insight into the past, present, and future. So this is what distorted many of our thinking of not agreeing to accommodate ourselves the way we happen to have ourselves in this nation. So it is a welcome development indeed. So because it has a lot of importance attached to this history, people may understand their national identity. Yes, because whether you are called Fulani Man, Kanuri, Igbo, Yoruba, you are all Nigerians.
True.
So it is from this history we will learn to know many of our tribes and of various locations. So learning history or teaching history in our secondary school is of paramount importance, I can see. Yes, because it will also teach us to learn from our past mistakes. Yes, we will hear about how colonial masters ruled this our country, how people struggled to get us independence and what have you, so that many of us will also trigger ourselves to do better than those that have passed in the past, that have passed.
True.
So appreciating our culture also, because we have a diverse culture in this country. I appreciate some of the people who have exhibited their own culture recently in Kumo and Kaduna State. I saw this through on your TV station. You have aired it, and I appreciate them. So that the younger ones will see the nature and culture of their own people and be proud of what they are.
True.
So anything that is set to do, it used to come with challenges and opportunities. So everything has its own advantages and disadvantages.
True.
We can't do otherwise. We must accept it the way it is and then address or come up with solutions on how to go about it.
True.
So you see, even the history curriculum we had in the past, this time around, I can say it has become obsolete. So there is need for it to be updated.
True.
Yes, and I'm sure even the previous textbooks, for now to put hand on them, is something very difficult. So there is need for government to fund the program, provide textbooks, train teachers, and then what have you. Yes. Many people are talking about, there is one person who talks about technology, sciences, and what have you. So these are the major areas where students used to neglect this type of subject because of competing priorities among the subjects. Some people may just look at history as the one kind of subject. Even I myself, when we were in secondary school, we refused to go for this history because we think of what we will take for us after we finish the history.
That's true.
And we couldn't get where we can go after reading history. So, but for now, as I become as I become a teacher, I'm also a teacher. And looking at my colleagues who are in the history department, they excel better than us in terms of grammar because of these stories they used to read. So they build their grammar through reading history and so many things like that. And another person talk of not getting admission in some of our Nigerian universities. It tells me a lot. Even at a political or any geopolitical zone, when you go to look for admission, for example, they will say that I'm not a catchment of this and that. For example, a Bauchi person will go to BUK and look for admission, they will say it's not its catchment area. Not to talk of taking myself to Ibadan or Isuka. And we read about people who studied there and had their own degree programs there. So this division has to be addressed.
True.
To allow people enjoy the wealth of the vast wealth of their nation. We shouldn't have to be restricted. Yes, that is my take, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that elaborate but very enlightening contribution. You've talked on so many fronts the need to upgrade and update our curriculum, a historical curriculum as it's currently taught. History did not stop where the last writers wrote about it. We are making histories every day. This country has taken different turns that are supposed to be documented, and we use that to improve the education and overall training of our pupils as generation evolve. It's been a wonderful contribution from you all in this segment of the program.